let's talk about esports. Because I know you guys, you do follow me not for politics. As all of my fans tell me, Richard, your hot takes are shit, your opinions are shit. Why won't you talk about things we care about? Esports. That's what we love. So I wanted to just give some thoughts on basically what happened at the EPL finals. Great tournament. Carrigan, obviously, that I did the interview with over at Rivalry CS. If you're interested in that kind of content, go over there and subscribe to them on YouTube. It's just called Rivalry CS. Go subscribe. But they were able to overcome Astralis. But a thing happened during that very exciting series, very close series, that has brought up the old question of soundproof booths and whether or not we need them in esports. And I'll give you my opinions and some explanations, but I'll just give you a little bit of context as to why we're going to be talking about it. Here's the clip, right? And this was basically the crowd in Odense, Denmark. Obviously, lots of Astralis fans in there, actively helping Astralis locate where people were on the map.
I got you.
And this is...
Two of them been duking it out. He was actually just checking for the little boost on the spool, so he was not ready for this. What is he? My goodness, how interesting. Zipex through underpass. He's got Glaive in tow as well. And they get the frag. Unbelievable. Astralis.
Not really unbelievable when you consider... I mean, obviously, Machine couldn't have known. Not really unbelievable. Oh, hey, thanks for the 15 gifted subs, Lemony McLemonade. Nice name. So you can see right there, I mean, that's one of the most egregious examples I think I've ever seen of a crowd giving assistance to a team. A lot of people complained after, you know, the Boston Major and stuff like this. I think that's all negligible as to whether or not they were really helping Cloud9. I've definitely seen Brazil fans do it too, because of course, you know, and the reality is, this is probably the worst example. This is probably the worst example. And it's really tough because it's not the players' fault, you know, and yet it is the players and the teams that will always bear the brunt of the community hate. You only won because you had the crowd on your side and the crowd cheering and blah, blah, blah. And it's just silly to direct it there. They're only human. They can't help what they hear. And so you would say, well, Richard, this means you're about to segue into an argument about why we need soundproof booths at events. Well, no, I'm not going to do that, actually. I actually don't like the idea of soundproof booths in Counter-Strike events especially. And I've never been... I've never been for them in Counter-Strike. There was a brief period of time where I was going to consider it, but I'll just give you some realities here. So first up, there was this. Let me just get you the comment here, because this is an ongoing debate. We have this debate, I'd say, about once a year in esports, and ESL obviously runs some of the biggest tournaments in the world.
Yeah, the two of them.
And oh wait, see, I'm gonna preempt it. I'm so fucking smart. You cannot beat me, you stupid fucking website. So ESL waded in when we had this debate back in 2017 with a post on Reddit. This is from ESL Johannes, where he basically says, like, they were interviewed about it and they put a statement out and it made it sound like the show comes first and competitive integrity comes second, which, by the way, probably is true. Because, you know, you have to balance all of your priorities very carefully. And I don't think there's anything wrong with saying, like, we do everything we can to make sure players aren't cheating. We do everything we can to make sure they're not taking drugs. Remember, ESL's the only esports company that does drugs tests. Mouse Sports got hit with one after 16-0ing Evil Geniuses. So they are, to say ESL don't care about competitive integrity would be absurd. But the reality is, when it comes to what you can control with the crowd, you probably can't anticipate or legislate that the crowd are going to sort of do something so fundamentally unethical and act in poor form is to literally call out positions which the players can then hear. And keep in mind, players are having white noise pumped into their headsets. The only thing they've got sound cancelling headsets on with in-ears underneath sometimes. It's they are doing all they can. The reason a tournament organizer doesn't really want a booth is because it lacks the interactivity from the crowd. I always find it a bit sterile when I watch like the international and see them in the booths, and then they have to open the booth and come out and wave, and it just feels like there's this separation there, which I've never liked. I always want the hype moments, the players to be able to come out, high five the crowd, and you feel a connection there. I always think that's better for the show, better for the event, and better for the experience. Now, the other there's a lot of myths about soundproof booths, which we'll get to in a second, but I'll just read you what ESL said here when they responded to it last time. The wording of our statement is quite unfortunate, since it makes it sound like we put experience over the actual game. This is not the case. Integrity is extremely important to us, and we've long been pioneering and driving technology solutions that duplicate the effects of a booth without using a booth. In reality, the issue is far from simple. Soundproof booths only dampen sound, much like the solutions we are implementing. They by no means prevent the issues being raised here. That loud cheering by the crowd can give insight into what is going on. For reference, here's MLG, where they say the same thing. Shroud on a stream said it doesn't matter if you're in a booth. You still can tell when crowd are giving away information. And some comments on Dota 2 players who've been in the TI booths said, yep, when we were in the booths, we could still pick up little bits and pieces. The impact of a good technological solution is similar to that of a decent booth. There are many different levels of booth quality, and only the very upper echelons actually provide comparable dampening to good audio solutions. Even a combination of booths and our solutions inside of booths don't guarantee that players wouldn't be able to feel the sound of a 10,000 people crowd erupting, however. In that sense, investment in technology is actually extremely important. I'm not saying booths shouldn't be investigated as an option, but it's not as cut and dry as people here are presenting it, where we have a booth and all of a sudden all the problems are fixed. Ultimately, it's a balancing of many factors, from stage design, crowd experience, player experience, to transport and build-up constraints, venue regulations, costs, etc. And it's true. Listen, I know we had that lunatic on the last stream say I'm on the ESL payroll, space is a hoax or whatever his name was. But you must consider there are a bunch of factors before you get to a decision about whether or not you're going to fork out a lot of money for a booth. Do we buy it? Do we own it? Do we rent it? I see a lot of dumb stuff. So let's just dismiss one thing. When people say, you can't have sound booths at American events because of fire code, I don't even know why this is repeated every thread about soundproof booths. It's gibberish. It's absolutely nonsensical. There are some states where you will have to adhere to a fire code, absolutely. But the idea you can't have a soundproof booth anywhere in America is absolute bullshit, and it needs to stop being propagated as a fact and a reason why we don't have soundproof booths. Remember, TI's in Seattle. What are you talking about? So they do say that, and it comes up all the time. The other thing, soundproof booths are not soundproof. that is a absolute inarguable fact. I have been in many booths down the years. I've been in good booths, not so great booths. I've gone in and checked them out. I've worked my own events. The reality is that the booths, when you get in there, first of all, even when you close that door, you can still hear stuff outside if it's very, very loud. But generally, what it does is it replaces the sound, the audio feedback you get, with a vibration feedback if it's super loud. As Johannes said there, if you're in a stadium and 10,000, okay, so let's say the crowd is equally divided. It's an 8,000 crowd, because 10,000 is always an exaggeration, isn't it? But it's an 8,000 strong crowd, and 4,000 fans have decided they're going to give away a position, because why wouldn't they? That you're in a soundproof booth, so they think they're good to do it, and it's not a big deal. Well, what happens there is you end up with the vibration coming through when you're checking, and you get an idea in your head. And many players have said this. It just is what it is. Plus, there's the trick you could always do. I can't remember which Cloud9 player said that they do this. You turn off the audio temporarily, or rather you press down to talk, so it kills the white noise, and you can use that at various points to pick up on audio cues from the crowd. Yeah, you hold open mic. So that is also something that you're not going to get rid of with a soundproof booth. Even the best soundproof booths are not going to dampen all sound. It's physically just something that can't happen. It certainly can't stop vibrations. In fact, it's been, I think, when we had this debate in, I want to say 2014, because we were doing it with StarCraft 2 back then, or was it maybe 2012? Who even knows? I've had this debate many, many times. The solution that was being proposed there was the only way you could get a truly soundproof booth was to have a very high quality soundproof booth suspended in midair, you know. And it's like, well, great, who wants to go and play in that? You'd have to submerge it and give players an oxygen tank. You know, it's just it's not practical to actually look at what we can do to eradicate how sound works. It's just not possible. So I always thought that chasing this idea of a soundproof booth seemed a little bit silly. And then you've got the fact that because we want the crowd interactivity, they're see-through, right? So, again, if I look up and I can see crowd getting animated when somebody's doing something, and I can then feed back that information, oh, the crowd are, cheering and standing up, and there's something going on over there. Or it doesn't even stop people like holding up signs, which we've had at events. You could spend $1 million on a state-of-the-art soundproof booth, and one cunt with a sign saying the bomb is A, flip it over, the bomb is B, can ruin the competitive integrity of a tournament. And it's happened. So, with all of that in mind, in fact, actually, I made a joke on Twitter the other day, and this shows you how fucking Scoots is a sharp motherfucker. I made a joke on Twitter the other day saying, like, oh, we need more chants in esports, right? Because if I had to hear fucking, let's go, darling, let's go. Let's go, darling, let's go. Like, please, guys, get some chants, dude. Like, I've been going to sports events my entire fucking life, and I've never seen such a poor showing when it comes to chants. Just never seen such a poor showing when it comes to chant. Like, one song? Are you fucking serious? Like, go to a fucking football game. Get out your house. Get some ideas for songs. Go look on forums of popular fucking football songs and change the words around. Fuck with them. Get a bunch of you turning up. This is what we used to do on the terraces. You get a bunch of you take a song, you all agree that you're going to start singing it, and then people will fucking join in. And also, it helps if you've got a fucking sharp brain and you can be funny. Because sometimes it's fucking spontaneous. You know, the chant, you ate all the pies. You must have heard that one. That, if I remember correctly, historically, that came from a Darlington game in the Northeast. And basically, there was this one fat guy, one of them, like, Northeastern types who are, like, fucking morbidly obese, but take their top off and doing this. And fucking... Anyway, one time at half-time, he went, and there was a queue to get your fucking pie and bovril that there used to be at Feetham's. And Feetham's is the old thing before the George Reynolds Stadium, and fucking... Yeah, he's a proper lad. Yeah, proper lad. That's what I meant. And anyway, people were queuing up for the pies, and then the fat lad got to the front, and he bought about, 10 pies. And then it turned out they were sold out. So the guy was sat there, eating his fucking pies with his top off. No one else could get a pie. So all the fucking fans started chanting, you ate all the pies, you ate all the pies, you fat bastard, you ate all the pies. And he's dancing and loving it. And then somehow that chant spreads all across Britain, and you sing it at every fat person at football games. Yeah? So there you go. Yeah, now it's who ate all the pies. So that's, you've just got to have a sort of wit about you when you're doing these things. But anyway, so I tweeted out, like, esports fans have got to get chance. They got to get more chance because, like, listening to a 4-hour series, and honestly, I've always said you got the right to boo, you got the right to chant, you got the right to applaud. If you're a ticket payer, you got the right to do anything. That's something sacred at a fucking sports event. You get to express yourself. You want to boo the team, you boo the team. You want to boo your opponents, you boo your opponents. You want to cheer, you want to chant, you want to do the same chant over and over again. You absolutely do it. But realistically, yeah, a football game is 90 fucking minutes plus half time. This was a 4-hour fucking series, and all I could hear on the fucking stream was 8 cunts going, "Let's go, Stars! Let's go! Let's go, Stars!" Like, it gets old quick, guys. Like, and how it hasn't got old for you, I don't understand why. Like, I'd be kind of, like, bored of doing that my own self, right? Like, so when I saw the Reddit threads of people, like, complaining how obnoxious it was, I hope you all just realize it was really fucking obnoxious. And it doesn't make you look like a good fan or a super fan. It just makes you look like sort of an inconsiderate prick, because you're not just annoying everybody in the stadium when you do the one obnoxious chant over and over and over again. You know, it's the hundreds of thousands of people who have to watch it at home you're pissing off as well, because ESL has stuck a mic next to your mouth for reasons I'll never understand. So, you know, it's like when we used to watch the fucking League of Legends, and every time someone dewarded, woo! Woo! And then they started doing that at CS events, because for some reason doing the Ric Flair was fucking considered good. And then it's like, but of course, a lot of these fucking people are prepubescent or whatever, or young, or squeakers, or whatever you want to call them. So you get this like weird, like, ah! Like a fucking parrot, having an old parrot that sat on its balls. You know, it's like, what the fuck is this? So anyway, you know, just sort your fucking shit out is all I'm saying. Just sort your shit out. Because it is annoying. Like, if you think it's bad for the fucking person sat next to you, going, "Oh, why am I sat next to this dickhead?" Like, I just wanted to hold up a sign saying Sponge is a wanker or something, and I got to listen to this. It's really bad. You can do Let's Go Astralis, Let's Go, like twice a half, twice a map. That's the healthy medium. Go on, once each half, then go on, right? And then just do some other chants. You think, come on. You know. He's red, he's round, he's worth £1 million. Major boy, Major boy. There, look, I've given you one for free. Like, just anything. Like, come on, like, for fuck's sake. Like, it's not difficult, man. We've been doing this for fucking years. Like, please. Anyway, one thing I didn't think of, right? One thing I didn't think of was I said we need more chants. And then Scoots replied, going, "Yeah, one chant when the bombs go in A, and one chant when the bombs go in B." And he did a little winky face. And I'm like, holy shit, that's like some next level cheating. And I guarantee there's going to be a fan base that's going to put their fucking heads together and start doing it. So let's go, Stralis, let's go, is A. And he's red, he's round, he's worth £1 million is the bomb's going to be. So we can't do anything now. And again, the soundproof booth wouldn't stop any of this. So it's a fucking nightmare. I also just want to say, like, you'll see a lot of players come out and say they want soundproof booths, right? And I just want to highlight a comment again back in 2017, because the debate was raging long and hard, because it was the annual "Let's Debate Soundproof Booths." They did an article about it over on Red Bull Esports. I never used this site actually on stream. Is it going to strobe? Who knows? Okay, and it's by a journalist I know, Stubbsy, Mike Stubbs. He went and got like a bunch of comments, right? And you can see here, Poe Belter from League. For a while, I preferred to play in a booth because of the headphones would catch a lot of crowd noise and be distracting. Since last year, Riot introduced some sort of crowd noise nullifying software that mutes out the crowd noise and makes playing with noise-cancelling headphones out in the open preferable. Someone should go talk to fucking Riot and ask what they got going on. Just saying, because I've always heard from League of Legends players it's actually really good and you can't hear nothing. So just saying, Riot seem to have cracked this problem. It proves that it is doable. But this is the other thing. When players come out and say, oh, we like playing in booths, trust Makalele. This is why I love him. Love my boy. I don't care if you think NASA's lying and the Earth's flat, buddy. You think what you want. I respect opinions. You're wrong, but I respect opinions. Right? But he said here, I always prefer to play in a soundproof booth, even if there's no crowd. The environment inside is much better for team spirit. It might make you think you're in a boot camp with the team or just at home playing, since it's much quieter than without a booth. I've been to a lot of tournaments where there is a soundproof booth and without, and of course it's pretty cool to not have one because you feel a bit more connection to the crowd and it might hype you up a bit, but in general it's better for gameplay to have a booth. So there you go, see? A lot of the time when players say, oh, it's way better in a soundproof booth. Yeah, because it's fucking... It diminishes the pressure. Because literally, you come in, you're breathing in... It is like being in a boot camp. You're breathing in each other's farts. The air gets stale super quick in those fucking things, by the way. And you're just talking to each other, and it is. You feel enclosed. You can, you get light reflecting off the surfaces. You can sort of barely see what's going on. So, yeah, a lot of players say, oh, booths are great, booths are great. Not because they fix the problem, because they just rather be in one. Because they can't handle the pressure of having to deal with a cauldron of fucking, let's go, Charlotte, let's go. So, and yeah, I saw as well, Rops kind of did offer a few tweets on it, which I see you guys want me to talk about that too. I'll bring that in. Obviously, love Rops. And he said, booths have always worked wonder from my experience in arenas. You can barely hear anything using a standard gaming headset, especially if it's good. Add a noise-cancelling headset and you'll only hear your own thoughts echoing through your head. I'd say it's not comparable to real sports environments. The game we are playing is extremely information-sensitive. It's pretty much only about working around the unknown, which you try to adapt and predict your game plan. You can play clutches on crowd. You can scam walls on crowd. Hell, you can even throw grenades like HEs and flashes because of the sound from the stage is loud enough that you'll hear if they explode, which instantly means there is an enemy near you. These are all the tricks that I've learned. And obviously, yeah, players do talk about how to use all of these sound tricks. But here's the thing. The key thing in all of that, everything Rops is saying, which, by the way, it's a completely valid perspective. That's his opinion. I would suspect he prefers booths a little bit because I like what Makalele was saying. But obviously, Rops is a great competitor and a player I absolutely respect and a human that I absolutely respect. So even though I disagree with his opinion on this, he's perfectly entitled to make it. But the reality is, the key component in each of the things he talks about is he has figured out how to manipulate the crowd. And he's allowed to do that because the crowd aren't stopped from chanting and screaming and screeching and giving information away at inopportune moments. So my proposed solution has always been, you don't fork out all that money for a booth. It's not necessary. Here's what you do. When that happened in that Astralis game, they should have took a timeout without penalizing any team a timeout. They should have done an announcement to the crowd that they will remove people if that happens again at any point in this tournament, and then they should police it and make sure that nobody does it. Because you are literally, this is all you have to do. You are literally in charge of who comes into your venue and what behavior goes on at your venue. And yet we're talking about spending millions of dollars potentially for a half fix just because we won't tell the crowd to not act like twats. So Rops is right about one thing. It isn't like real sports. I've always compared it because the Americans don't have this frame of reference. They always say, yeah, I mean, in esports, booths are necessary because you don't have any sports where the crowd is... Look at a soccer game, my dudes. Every time, right, I've got the ball. I'm in midfield. I'm the midfield tank. I'm fucking David Batty, but I weigh 240 pounds. So I've got to play a sideways pass to my winger, and I get paid 50 grand a fucking week for doing this, apparently. Right? So I've got the ball. I'm having a look around. Where's my winger? Where are my boys at? How am I going to do this fucking sideways pass? And fucking, there's a guy behind me who's coming in. He's going to tackle me because I'm slow, my knees are gone. And I'm not paying attention. But fortunately, it's a home game. So, what happens? Man on! Man on! Man on! All right, the crowd is screaming man on. I guess there's a man on. Better get rid of this quick. Doesn't even matter what I'm doing. Hell, I might even do a forward pass. There we go. Whoopsie doodle. Now I got rid of the ball. The guy lost the element of surprise to tackle me because the crowd were chanting, screaming information at me. And it's one of the appreciable elements of the home advantage. And it happens all the time in soccer. So you absolutely must, you absolutely, for me, must say that's appropriate at a soccer game. We allow that. But what isn't appropriate, because the game's information sensitive, is to have fans in the audience literally telling people where they are. Now, there's going to be some grey areas. Being excited when two people are coming around a corner at each other is one of those things that's going to happen. I'm not talking about that. But that was, you saw the player fishing for the information and you saw the crowd giving it to them. And that, to me, stop the game and you reiterate any more of that and people are getting thrown out. It's as simple as that. When you go to these events, because I saw someone in the chat, Chunky Nuts 333, great name. They get chunkier as you get older, like everything on the body does. Chunky Nuts 333 said kicking people out would never work because if you kick the wrong person out, you would have a lawsuit on your hands. Well, that might be true, but I would just direct you to, when you attend these events, you are essentially bound by a code of conduct. And that code of conduct includes that you can be removed for inappropriate behavior, and inappropriate behavior would include violating the competitive integrity of the game. And I know this because we used to give this speech at E-League before everyone. We had one incident at E-League. Where, again, it was a Cloud9 fan, if I remember rightly. Tried to give away some info, and we pulled his card. The fucking floor manager went over and the security went over and went, listen, buddy, like, you're out if you do that again. Like, no fucking joke. We won't even wait till the commercials. We'll just pan the camera away and you'll just be gone. And he was like, yep, fair dues. Sorry. And that's just all you have to do. That's just all you have to do. Isn't it incredible, right, that we've had a crowd, we've had multiple instances of people giving away information with that screeching and cheering. We've had multiple instances of now of people holding up signs. We've had people run onto the stage. We've had people throw fucking Mars bars or whatever the fuck it was, a talent trying to do their job. I've had it when I've been working, having cunts come right up to what's supposed to be a closed-off area, going, yeah, I'm on the telly. Like, fucking hell, mate. You can be on Twitch. No one's excluding it, right? We've had all of that. I have not heard once of a fan being thrown out because we pander to the fans. That's what all of this is about. Fans are brilliant, aren't they? We love fans. So it doesn't matter what they do. Fans are the lifeblood of the industry, so it doesn't matter what they do. I have never heard of a fan being ejected from an esports event. Never. So what is the real problem here? Is it soundproof booths? Or is it fans being dickheads? What are we really talking about? It's fans being dickheads, isn't it? Because if fans aren't dickheads, we don't really need a soundproof booth. That is a very broad generalization. As I said, there's going to be instances that happen. But I think in general, if it's legitimate excitement, it will affect both teams evenly over the course of an event as exciting plays unfold. And if it's like it was in Denmark, if it is a deliberate malignant component of the fan base that are trying to subvert the game so their team can win, then you've got to get rid of them. You just throw them out. It doesn't matter. Half of these cunts don't even pay for the ticket. I mean, they do at ESL events, but I'm talking about just events broadly. It just seems incredible to me. You have instances of, yeah, you're right. But people didn't get removed for the Pepe signs in Overwatch. They just took the signs off them. No, I've never heard, I'm telling you, I cannot think of an esports event off the top of my head where an esports fan has engaged in bad behavior and been thrown out. Now, what does that tell you? Because it must have happened once. What happened to those guys? Do you remember when the guys rushed the DreamHack stage and I thought Yanko was going to fucking chin one of them? And trust me, Yanko could. Do you remember that? Thanks, CMac1991 for the 10 gifted subs. Appreciate it, Home Slice. Good to see you back on the channel. Pushing for the 2K before Christmas, so I can throw a little Christmas bonus out there. But yeah, do you not remember it was at a DreamHack and two drunk guys like rushed the stage? I think it was might have been what was that one they did in Germany at DreamHack? Leipzig. Anyway, so he fucking ran out and they were going yeah, wasted out their mind and nudging and bumping into Yanko. I think they were back the next day. I think they got pulled off stage, asked to leave, told to sober up, and I think they were back the next day and apologising. It's like, ban them for life. What are we talking here? Just ban them for life. Ban them for fucking life. You rush your state. Right? If I run on with a pitch at fucking St. James Park, I'm fucked. I can't go to any game in Britain ever again. For like 5 fucking years minimum or something. But I can rush an esports stage and be a cunt and hold up a sign and everybody, the fans, they're great, aren't they? No, you're a cunt. The end. There's boundaries. It is not your personal playground. Ridiculous. So, the long-term solution, I think, is that we just need to do this once. I would urge somebody because why it hasn't happened, guys, is no one wants to be the first. No one wants to be the first to throw somebody out because, you know what, the Reddit thread will be like, well, I wasn't even doing anything. There'll be a Reddit thread. ESL threw me out of the event for simply saying, let's go Astralis, let's go. And all the morons on Reddit will upvote it without possibly considering the possibility that the guy who has got an axe to grind might be lying because the average Redditor is 80 IQ and has nothing going on in their lives and just needs to hitch themselves to a drama, any drama, so they don't have to stare into the abyss. Oh, wait, what? ESL are bad. They threw somebody out of an event. Well, he must be innocent. He couldn't possibly have done anything wrong. I hate ESL. Yeah, ESL. Esports would be better without ESL, wouldn't it? Yes, everyone. And in fact, the person who threw them out should be fired. I have doxed the security guard. Yeah, I've got his name as well. We'll get him. We'll get him. Here are his wife and kids. That is Reddit. That noise, that chatter. So that's why no esports company wants to be the fucking first to actually throw anybody out of a fucking venue. They just don't want to do it. Because they're just like, well, all that negative press, all that headache, what's the point? They're waiting for somebody else to do it. So DreamHack are waiting for ESL to do it. ESL are waiting for fucking whoever else does tournaments, the Blast, to do it. Let's see if there's someone brave enough to fuck around in Bahrain, by the way. Yeah, y'all do it in these friendly European venues, lobbing Mars bars at people. Henry's a wanker. Yeah. Fuck around in Bahrain. See what happens. Throw a Mars bar at someone in Bahrain. Yeah, fuck around in China. Go to a Chinese event and fucking fuck around then. Lob a Mars bar at someone in a military uniform. See what happens, mate. It's fucking ridiculous. Thanks a lot, Welbers TV, for the gifted subs. 10 of them, in fact. I appreciate it. That's lots of fedora tipping. Not even a real journalism. That's right. But I don't know. I just... yeah, I remember it. The guy... Yeah, it was in China, wasn't it? You're fucking right. The guy rushed the fucking stage in Beijing and held up a sign. He's probably gone. He's probably sat in a cell now. I want to find out what's happened to him. Track him down. Yeah, exactly, yeah. Imagine, he rushed the stage, he's next to Mouse Sports, and he holds up a sign that's got Winnie the Pooh on it or something, and you're just Mouse Sports, like, just wanting to get out of China alive. Like, brilliant. Thanks, mate. Fucking unreal, isn't it? Carrigan's being pushed off stage. I'm not a Uyghur! It's a nightmare. It's a fucking nightmare, man. You gotta fucking stop these fucking people, man. You gotta stop them. Ridiculous. Anyway, so look, my thought process has always been this. I think experience is the one thing Counter-Strike has that is so far ahead of every other esport. It's electric when you go to a Counter-Strike event. It really is. For all I talk about the fans being cunts, when you go to a real event, like a real event where, this isn't pandering, where everybody understands the social contract that we're in, everybody's there to respect the game and not just one team. Like Cologne is just such a wonderful example of that, because obviously, outside of when Big had that run, Germany doesn't have a top team, and the fans just love the game. They're a very they've always been like very computer game savvy, kind of country. And, listen, I know Duncan always bangs on about this because of Carmack, but I think Katowice is a really good event too. I think, I don't think those fans, I don't think they pay any money to go, but I mean, who gives a fuck, right? Like, you still got to turn up and you still got to do your bit, and Katowice is a good one. But Cologne is just like an amazing event, and the fans are there to watch good Counter-Strike and watch the games. And there was only that one incident, I think, where the fans booed Fnatic for winning against VP, and Taz came out. That was Cologne, right? And Taz came out and said no, show them respect, and then they gave him a standing ovation. Nice little historical moment in the game. And I've been to those events, and I think they're fucking great. And you have multiple chants and great cheers, and nothing's obnoxious, and so it proves that you can have those electric, amazing spectacle events without any incidents. In fact, think about that. Has there been an incident like that at a Cologne? I want to say, I just think it's when you get to the smaller events, it becomes more of a problem, because it scales down the sound, the audio. So I think, for me, just throw disruptive fans out. Just throw them out. You will, I swear, listen, come together on this, esports or tournament orgs. Come together on this. You will only have to do it once. One of you will only have to do it once. And then every other fan will get the fucking message. You do the speech at the start. Any information is given away at any point over the course of the tournament. You do it every day, because there'll be new people coming in. We'll throw you out. So don't fucking do it. And that can be anything from going, ooh, when a crosshair's moving around, or actively screaming, it's me, like some of these morons do. You'll just be renditioned out of this building like a motherfucker. You'll be taken to an ESL black site and never seen again. So don't do it. And that's it. You do it to the one dickhead who does it, and it's all fixed forever. So the idea we need to try and we're in a fucking game of XCOM. We got to fucking design new technology and to conquer a problem that's fixable with a couple of bouncers. I don't know. I'm never on board with it. I don't like soundproof moves. I don't think I ever have, really. So that's my opinion on it. I'm sure it'll be wrong. No doubt when this goes up on YouTube, everyone will be telling me, Richard Lewis doesn't know what he's talking about, as per usual.